You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode number 232.2, our Madison-Grant baseball season preview with Coach John Walters, then Tripp Haisley, Xavier Yeagy, and Luke Gilman.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Welcome, Madison-Grant Argyle fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report, our baseball season preview. Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report, Coach Walters, one of the first contacts I made when I got here last April.
Yes.
So it's been a year. Unbelievable. Coming off the best season in program history. Coach, what have you seen so far?
So far, I think the good thing about coming back is we have a lot of guys from last season back on our roster in the starting lineup. We also have a lot of good experience back, which I think helps us, headed into the season, just be more ready to go for on-field performance.
We'll talk more about who's back for your team, but tell me how you replace a guy like Tegan.
For the most part, Tegan was a big catalyst for us in the three-hole. He's somebody that I could always count on, put the ball in play. Very rarely did he strike out, was a huge leader for us off the diamond to our teammates, and I think he did a really good job of understanding situations during the game, and we could kind of talk things out and understand that was a big leadership role and a responsibility that he did. So losing him was I'd say is equally as much as it was losing Max and Lucas Humphreys too. Two guys that maybe weren't out in the forefront for most people to see, but they were guys, off the field and on the field that were big contributors and big mouthpieces in our dugout, trying to make sure guys stayed positive and moving forward to our ultimate goal. So all three of them were a big loss, but certainly Tegan with the playing experience obviously has had a lot to do with it.
Tell me about these guys here, some of your leaders, your senior class, who you have coming back.
Yeah, so we have four seniors that are coming back, and we added a fifth senior with Andy Stanley, who primarily played football and track, and just had a conversation with him last year at Tegan's open house. Hey man, give us a try. Even if you could courtesy run or pinch run for us, come back and play this game. It's fun. Our kids enjoy it, so that was good. And I don't want to dismiss Lucas Richards, who's one of our key managers, been with the program a long time, and helps me out tremendously get prepared for practice. But, obviously the two guys that were IHS BCA All-Stars last year as juniors, Xavier Yeagy and Luke Gilman, they're by far, the top guys here. Been 4-year starters. That they're going to give us their all every single time. But they're not selfish, and that's one thing. When you look at the stat sheet, they might fill it up, but they're not selfish. They're going to be there for their teammates. They're going to commit for each other, and it's awesome to see them. They have their little thing when they're pitching. They both do something, whether they're dunking on each other or whatever, and it's nice to see that fun atmosphere going on, but that is a very cool experience. And then Levi Nelson, I think, is a very underrated senior. He's in center field, super fast, and hits the ball. His contact percentage is very high, and it wasn't until I started looking through some of the stuff he did last year and I was thinking, man, this guy would be a great leadoff guy for us this year. Try to move Xavier out of that hole and move him down to where his brother was in the three spots. We have three seniors at the top of the lineup right there, and then you add in Tripp Haisley, who's a 3-year starting middle infielder and pitcher for us, and he's in the 4-hole, and I think a lot of people look at that and go, that little guy's in the 4-hole, and it's like, okay, well, try to beat him, right? And so I'll take that every day of the week. He puts the ball in play. He gives us an advantage. Even if those three go down, he's a great leadoff spot in that spot. So I play this game a little differently. And then my other senior that is really a super genuine kid, and that's Chad Lamb. I think he works his tail off to be as best as he can be, and it's shown every single day. The guy's super fast. likes the game of baseball, probably loves it just as much as I do, and that's something that I truly cherish. But having those 5 seniors and Lucas as a manager and Tripp with them as our leaders headed back on the season is super important as we try to make a good run.
And tell me about some of the newcomers. Before you tell me about some of the newcomers, Harry Brooks had a really nice freshman year. I just saw him walk in with a cast on his hand. What's the situation there?
Yeah, so Harry, we had a guy on first and second the other night, nobody out, called a bunt for Harry. He put it in a nice situation where the first baseman had to go towards second base to make the play. And so as he's running towards Harry to make that out instead of going to the bag, Harry's running hard as usual, and he tries to avoid it, so he goes a head-first slide and unfortunately broke his index and middle finger on his non-throwing hand pretty cleanly. So he knew he did it. He came off the field, and he said, "Coach, I broke my finger." And I said, "Well, go check out with Sam, the trainer, and we'll figure it out." So yeah, it was a big loss. I quickly found out in the next inning, came in, talked to Sam Yeagy, our trainer, and she kind of said, "Coach, you don't look good." So I said, "All right." By the end of the game, we had X-rays back, and it wasn't. So, he's a big loss, right? Sophomore, had a huge first season, was going to be our only catcher, right? Our primary catcher this year. So I think it immediately threw these guys into kind of a panic mode a little bit, because I had told them all off season and even winter workouts, like, "Hey man, if Harry gets hurt, like, we don't have a backup catcher. We really need somebody to get some work in and take the time with me on Saturdays to understand it." And so here we are, right? Harry's down, and we're looking at probably 4 to 6 weeks at the moment.
So you will get him back for the postseason, you hope?
That, based on what we were told, we're looking to get him back hopefully for that final run. I told him at the end of the day, you need to be here. You need to help your teammates, help these catchers that we need to develop, and ultimately be ready, because if he can come back in a few weeks and run for us, I will take his legs. If he just needs to wear a rubber band or a balloon around that thing, do it. But we've got to do something to get him on the field, because he is a game changer. And so we'll figure it out as we go. But we have other guys that can step up and help us out as well.
Tell me about the newcomers to the varsity.
Well, I want to say Brock Barnhart's going to get some more time this year. Last year, he was primarily a courtesy runner for us. He did a small stint when Tripp got hurt. He went out there and performed in the middle infield for us, threw a couple JV games just to get reps and see what he could do on the mound. And this year, here we are, right? Harry goes down. Brock's a very good athlete, and I said, "Hey, man, you're going behind the plate." I didn't realize that he had previous experience. He probably didn't know I knew that. But I said, he's got to go. Like, well, I don't have a choice. He's got to get behind that plate right now. And so we're still looking to use him as a utility guy, mainly catching right now and pitching.
And if you need a three-pointer,
yeah, well, I heard he's a pretty good ball player there. So, but we're going to work on that. Brayson Martin came off our JV squad last year. Has a really good opportunity to be a big bat for us. Playing first base, not normal position for him. He typically played outfield, middle infield. So we're going to put him at first base a little bit to give Luke some chances over at third base. I really like Luke Gilman over at third. And if Xavier goes on the mound, I think I got to put Luke at short.
Apparently he likes third base too, because
he
does. Just pumped his fist.
He does. I said a year ago, I don't know that he was like all giddy about it, but this year he's certainly like, I'm going to play third base, right? So it's cool to see that transition happen. So Brayson Martin, Cam Richards, another guy that's coming off the JV squad, super anxious, super excited. Has a lot to do to get some on-field time,
but passionate about it.
But very passionate, and I think his speed is another thing. Our team speed is elite. I can't tell you that enough. Our team speed is very elite this year, and it's nice to have guys like that you can depend on. Like, hey, guy goes out, you go run, and to add to that speed, O.J. Blackwell. I think when you looked at him, a lot of people looked at him in football this year. OJ changed a lot, and he's been working really hard on his foot speed, trying to get better, and ultimately the guy can crush a baseball too. So I like him in our outfield spots, and he may do a little bit of catching for us. But all these guys coming in are super talented, and we knew what we had coming back. So they were on our roster for sectional and regional, and now they get an opportunity to play. The one thing that I kind of talked to these guys about last night is I said, if you haven't seen what's kind of going on here, we've got a little trend with freshmen. And so this year, Dylan Martin is a freshman that made varsity, and he's a super talented kid, left-handed, which helps us change the game on the mound. We don't have a left-handed pitcher in this group until we got him. And he went out the other night behind Luke Gilman, shut it down for us, and I think there's a lot of more good things to come for that young man.
Last year you got here was your first season. What's been the biggest difference this spring from last spring?
Last year is getting to know everybody, teaching them a different philosophy, teaching them things I wanted to implement, and could they retain the information. That was probably the biggest change right away.
Expectations?
Expectations were, I came in with the expectation we could win a regional. Now, to make that happen in real life was uncharted waters for the school. But I told people that at our bowling event. I told them, I said, hey, we're going to win a sectional this year, and I feel good that we can win a regional. I felt that in my heart. I believed it, and when it happened, it was surreal, and to see the kids and the town get behind us and say, man, we've got ourselves a ball coach. Well, I hope they believe that. But at the end of the day, I really would want to be more of a mentor and a coach for them for the lifelong deal. It's not so much about baseball. Baseball's part of this, but it was really a passionate moment for us to share together. And I think coming in this year, I didn't have to worry about that. We didn't have expectation of, you got to go win the sectional. Right? We already did that. You got to go win the regional. We already did that. We want to get back to where we were because we feel like that's unfinished business. And when the ratings and the rankings came out from all the different sites, I think that put a very big sour taste not only in my mouth but their mouth. And that was the very first thing when we met was, how do you guys feel about this? And it was, wait a minute, we were in the Sweet 16, top 8, and we ain't even considered to be in the top 25. With all these guys coming back, doesn't sit very well. So we've got a really big chip on our shoulder to go out and prove to a lot of people that we're a force to be reckoned with. And if you're going to think that we're not very good, just wait.
Earmuffs, guys. Close those ears. I don't want a bunch of really good kids too, right?
Yes, excellent kids, excellent student athletes.
I don't want them to know that I think that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time. And now I'm going to talk to a couple of your players. Look really forward to covering your team this year, Coach.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks so much. And thanks so much for helping out when we were just getting started. Appreciate
Hey, absolutely.
that.
Continue to do it.
Now I am here with Luke Gilman, Tripp Haisley, and Xavier Yeagy. I said Xavier during basketball, and he yelled at me, don't ever. All right. It's finally here. It's baseball season. How anxious have you guys been to get back to this?
So anxious. It's my favorite sport, and you can definitely tell the atmosphere in the school is a little bit different. Baseball season, warm weather, and
Really? Where?
supposed to be warm weather, but Indiana isn't always the most fair.
Doesn't cooperate that often anymore. I asked him about expectations. Luke, you guys feeling the expectations?
Yeah, we definitely are. I know walking through the halls every day, there were always pictures of when we won baseball sectionals and regionals. They're still up. So I just remember seeing those and be like, man, we got to do it again. We can't keep those out-of-date pictures. We need new ones. We need new ones to put up.
Tripp, since you're here, and we'll talk about really how this school really thrives on 3 sport athletes, multiple sport athletes. You, of course, are a wrestler. He's a quarterback. He's a tennis star. Just really, what does that do for a team to have multiple sport athletes?
I just really feel, I think it helps our talent level. We're all multiple sport athletes. Just adds to our athletic ability. We're all versatile on the field. We can play anywhere that coach feels we're best fit for. We can be moved around easily, but it also helps us bond. Baseball is really not the only sport we all play together. We're all around each other all year. We're friends outside of the baseball field. We hang out with each other. It's just a tight bond even when we get into baseball. And I think I think all of us playing multiple sports just helps the bond of us. And when we get to baseball season, I guess it's like kind of marks the end of our the seasons, our sporting seasons, and we always like to finish it off on a high. So hopefully we can make it back to where we finished last year, even farther, hopefully.
Yeah. Does it feel any different because you're a senior?
To me, no. I've always wanted to be the leader of a team, like vocal. The part that sucks is to know I have a final game this year. I will have a final game.
State finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the plan. And to know I won't be back for like Tripp and all the other underclassmen, and that's the part that sticks with me the most. Is in the back of my head is I know I will have a final game.
Luke, tell me about the pitching staff and what we can expect.
You can expect a lot from the pitching staff. I know that puts a lot of weight on our shoulders, but I'm pretty confident in it. I know Xavier coming back, he pitched the sectional championship and regional championship, and semi-state game. So you could say he has the experience to pitch in those big moment situations. And me last year, I know I may have had the best ERA, but we won't talk about the teams I pitched against. But I'm hoping to keep that trend up. And
is that a competition between the two of you?
You
guys compare stats? Is that something you guys do?
Oh, yeah.
I try not to brag about it.
Who led the team in hitting last year?
Harry.
So they know off the top of their head. It's a real competition. Tripp, tell me about the lineup. Is it a lot of small ball? Are there big hitters? Is it a mix? Tell me about the lineup.
I feel like we have a good mix. Like I feel like we have our lineup spread out to where we have good hitters wherever we are in the lineup. I feel confident with the top of our order, middle, and bottom. I feel like wherever we're at, we can have quality at bats, put the ball in play. I don't think we have any problem with scoring runs. Like I'm excited to see what we do this year. I really think big things are coming for our lineup. I think our elite speed, along with how we can hit, is really going to help us this year.
Big weekend coming up, Luke. Delta on Friday at Delta, another team that's a defending champion, right? Yeah, okay. Another team that's a defending champion, and then your first doubleheader of the year at home against Delphi. What are you hoping to see early in the season about your team? Learn about your team.
Well, I know that Delta team beat Miss Cinewall in their regional championship last year, just right before our game. And knowing we play a team of that caliber, I'm hoping to see what we can do against those high-ranked 3A teams. Because if we can put up a fight and or beat teams like that, then we definitely have a really good chance of going far in 2A. And then Delphi, we've always split with them, and I know Coach is really wanting to get 2 this year. So
it's hard after you win a first game of a doubleheader to focus on the second game, isn't it?
It really is. But they were also ranked in the coaches poll, so that's a team we've kind of had circled on our schedule of, hey, let's beat them twice and shock some people.
What's the biggest circle on the schedule?
There's a lot of them.
Anybody? Alexandria?
All of them are pretty much the same for us. A lot of people, we thought people would be behind us since we went so far, and we showed them.
You mean in the polls?
Mm-hmm. We thought we could show them that we're talented, like in every grade level, and it just don't seem like that. So every team, every opportunity we get, we need to make the best of it, and we know that. Every practice, we push each other. Coach is very good at leveling it for some people because it can get heated at some point in the season or even now, and it's just us knowing that we need to prove ourselves again.
I know I got a pretty big circle that state championship game.
Oh, that's
that might
the
be the biggest circle.
So the semi-state, do you hope to see Ileana Christian again?
They're not in 2A.
I don't think they're in 2A.
Oh, they're not anymore?
No.
Oh.
Rochester's a big one.
West
Rochester would be a big one to beat.
You play them in the regular season?
No, we do not play Rochester.
What about Frankton? I know that they're going to be pretty good too. They're the regional team. CIC. Alexandria is going to have a good team. Same thing. County is coming up pretty soon. A lot of really good competition around here.
LaPel's a big one I want to knock
Okay.
off for Madison County. I hope we can prove ourselves against them, knock them off. That'd be really nice. I don't think that I feel confident in our team's ability to do it, and I really hope we can come back with a Madison County championship. We haven't done it since 2021, so it'd be nice to start this season off with a county championship and get us rolling pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it won't be easy. Everybody in the county's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everybody. Guys, thank you so much for spending some time. And Coach, thank you so much for allowing them to come in and before practice and talk. And I really look forward to watching you guys play this year.